Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thank you for joining me. This evening's live is a live I had been promising you all for over a month, pertaining to Dericka Brown and Patrick Stallworth. They have been accused of murdering Camille McKinney, and I have the sister here with me, joining me to give you commentary pertaining to the attorney that she spoke to that is representing her sister and what was revealed in conversation, how she feels about this case, how the family feels, and we will go from there. I will give you a background on what happened, allegedly what the state is alleging, and also new information is that there will not be the federals will not be state will be death penalty is. You got a lot of background, Candace.
It's the wind blowing.
Yeah. Okay, well I'm gonna have to mute you. Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $BigAngie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during this live. This will be a sensitive nature commentary because of the allegations brought forth pertaining to what happened to the child by Dericka Brown and Patrick Stallworth, because I will read that said information to you. So if you do not want to partake in this type of information of sexual assault, just remove yourself from the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to start out with the latest information coming out of Alabama. This is by al.com. Suspects in deadly kidnapping of Camille Cupcake McKinney will not face federal death penalty. If convicted federally, they could face life in prison without the possibility of parole. A federal trial date has not been set. Federal authorities won't seek the death penalty in the 2019 deadly kidnapping of Camille Cupcake McKinney. Patrick Stallworth, 42, and Dericka Brown, 31, were indicted federal of kidnapping and conspiracy to kidnap a minor. The decision whether to seek the death penalty in federal court was up to the U.S. Attorney General, authorities said at the time of the pair's federal indictment in 2020. On Thursday, federal prosecutors filed notices that the U.S. will not seek the death penalty against Stallworth or Brown. Repeat, on Thursday, federal prosecutors filed notices that the U.S. will not seek the death penalty against Stallworth or Brown. If convicted federally, they could face life in prison without the possibility of parole. A federal trial date has not been set. Stallworth and Brown are also charged with capital murder in state court. A state trial date has not yet been set. So we're talking about two trials, obviously, federal and state. Federally, they're not seeking the death penalty, federal court, but in states, they are. And it reads as follows. But Jefferson County prosecutors said they intend to seek the death penalty. A gag order in the state cases remains in effect. Stallworth and Brown, who were in a dating relationship for about a year before their arrest, have since blamed each other for Camille's death. The 3-year-old became a household name as a 10-day search for her gripped Birmingham and all of Alabama. One minute she was playing at a birthday party with other children, the next she was gone. Camille was abducted October 12, 2019, while at a birthday party in Tom Brown Village. And I will say for the record, that has been disputed. They keep reporting this in the news, but allegedly the child was not invited to a party. And this is per from the mother who threw the party for her children, and she was newly moved to this development. And I put that in here because I think people need to know that who have not followed the story. As I said, abducted October 12, 2019. Camille's disappearance gripped the city for 10 days until her remains were found on the night of October 22nd in a trash dumpster at a Jefferson County landfill. An autopsy conducted by the Jefferson County Coroner's Office showed Camille had died of asphyxiation by suffocation. The exam also turned up toxic levels of methamphetamine and trazodone. The levels of the drugs indicated Camille had ingested the drugs and not just been exposed to them. Testimony from previous hearings showed investigators removed a plastic covering from a mattress that was in the living room where the couple lived in Center Point. The covering showed blood in several places, and testing of that blood showed a mixture of DNA belonging to Stallworth, Brown, and Camille. Brown said she saw Patrick Stallworth kneeling on the sofa in front of Camille, forcing the girl to perform oral sex on him. Stallworth told detectives that he walked into the couple's apartment and saw his girlfriend sitting on the couch with Camille and said, "That's not your child." He said Brown indicated that she wanted to keep Camille and then suggested Stallworth do something sexual to the child. Now, this is his version. More than 800 people attended Camille's funeral at New Beginnings Christian Ministry, with 400 plus more in an overflow. This 3-year-old has Herculean powers, former Birmingham Police Chief Patrick Smith had said. She's unified a city. She's brought the city together. I think she touched a chord within the city, Smith said. This was a how dare you crime. How dare you touch our children? How dare you disrespect our community? I think that's why it touched a chord. Camille McKinney wasn't someone famous or someone we all knew before October 12, 2019. She was a sweet, caring 3-year-old girl, First Assistant U.S. Attorneys Lloyd Peoples previously said. During the 10-day search for Camille McKinney, we saw law enforcement and public safety organizations at their finest. If you need verification for the information that I have just repeated, owl.com is the source. To recap what I just said, Dericka Brown, Patrick Stallworth were facing federal charges and an indictment, death penalty. The federal prosecutors have taken the death penalty off the table, so she would be facing life federally. But the state of Jefferson County, Alabama, are seeking the death penalty. So we're talking about 2 trials, state and federal. And also at the house apartment where this this event took place of them sexually assaulting the child, each is pointing the finger at the other one. Blood and the DNA of the suspects were mixed in with the child's. And I also have information from another article pertaining to this situation of what was found in this apartment, because I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm talking about. For those who have not been privy to this information. This is from 2 years ago. Testimony: Camille Cupcake McKinney was sexually assaulted before her murder. The capital murder case against the female suspect in 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney's murder will go before a grand jury. This is 2 years ago, mind you. Derek Irisha Brown, 29, appeared in court Friday morning after being charged with capital murder in the Birmingham toddler's death. Brown, along with 39-year-old Patrick Stallworth, were charged in late October after the girl's body was found October 22nd at a Jefferson County landfill from a dumpster that had been recovered from near the Center Point condominium. Inside this article, you will see the mugshots of both Brown and Patrick Stallworth. The pair were named persons of interest in the case shortly after McKinney's abduction from a birthday party at the Tom Brown Village Public Housing Community on October 12th. McKinney died of asphyxiation that same day, investigators said. Derek Brown in court on December 12th. There's a picture in there with an attorney. During Brown's court appearance, Birmingham Police Detective Jonathan Ross said Brown testified in an interview that she saw Stallworth sexually assault McKinney in their apartment. Brown's defense claimed the DNA report from FBI showed that Stallworth's DNA was found on McKinney's fingernails, and Brown's was not. Brown's defense provided a jail photo in which a small scratch was visible on Stallworth's torso. In Stallworth's court appearance earlier this week, prosecutors argued Brown was with him for the entirety of the Saturday that McKinney disappeared. So Stallworth basically was saying, she was with me all day. Prosecutors said that around noon that day, the couple was seen offering candy to middle school girls near Tom Brown Village. According to a witness statement presented in court Friday, Brown said to another young female that day, "We were looking for someone who looks just like you." In Stallworth's court appearance, prosecutors said evidence from a mattress inside of the suspect's apartment indicated a mixture of blood and DNA from Brown, Stallworth, and McKinney. McKinney is the child. Meth and trazodone, a sedative prescribed to Stallworth, was found in McKinney's system. Testimony revealed during Stallworth's hearing, his defense team argued he was asleep for much of the time McKinney was at their apartment. In his final statements Friday, Judge Clyde Jones said it's evident that Brown and Stallworth worked together and that one or both of them sexually abused McKinney and caused her death. If convicted, Brown and Stallworth could face the death penalty. CBS42.com is the source, and this is a 2-year-old article. As I state in this commentary, the two are not facing the death penalty federally, but the state is still seeking the death penalty. Thank you for joining me. I will now talk to the sister of the suspect, Dericka Brown. That is not her government name. That is a name that she made up and gave herself. She meant to say Dericka with an A, but she left the A out, so it was Derek Brown. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. You will now hear from Candace Jackson. Thank you so much.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, everybody.
Thank you so much, sweetheart, for joining me. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. As you've heard, the information pertaining to the federal indictment against your sister has been taken off the table. How do you feel about that, ma'am?
Actually, I kind of feel a little better because at first I was worried that she'd be put to death. But the thing is, like, it's just still another part of me that possibly she can still be put to death.
Yes,
but by the state. Yeah, but on the federal level, I'm actually glad because I feel as though personally that that I like I said, I don't believe in the death penalty. I feel like if the child suffered, my sister and the Patrick should also suffer while sitting in prison also. So I feel like they should just basically sit there, So
you don't agree. So you don't agree with the death penalty. Can you tell us why?
Because I feel like it's the easy way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they made this girl suffer and endure all this pain, so why not let them endure the same pain that they put her through? That doesn't make any sense. Just kill somebody because.
Oh, so you say you don't believe you don't believe in an eye for an eye?
Yeah, I believe in eye for an eye, but it depends on what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yes, they killed her. Yes, they did. But the thing is, I don't think she's gonna learn anything just by dying in prison like that. Because she basically, they just kill her.
Listen, so basically, you're saying you don't believe in eye for an eye, then?
I do believe in eye for an eye, but you misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they made her suffer, so why give them what they want just by killing them all? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're not learning anything, by just you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, give her the death penalty. Yeah, she did that. All them days that girl been there with them, that shows that girl endured so much pain, and so they should endure the same pain.
I don't think the child was with them just that. I think it was just that night for a few hours because it's believed that she was suffocated the same night they kidnapped her.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So she still suffered a painful death. She still suffered.
Okay.
And so
you think they're gonna sit in prison and have some type of remorse for killing the child?
Not necessarily remorse, but I think they should go through pain and suffering as well. I think they deserve it.
But listen, if you don't have any remorse, let's just say they never have any remorse, then how are they suffering?
Right.
The only thing they're suffering is just being locked up. You can't get out.
Right. But the thing is, just by sitting in jail, it's gonna drive them crazy because they can't get out.
Okay. All right. Well, do you believe your sister participated in the said crime against the child?
Yes, I do. But I think she was there. But the thing is, personally, actually killing the girl, no, I don't think so.
Well, you also heard in this commentary that I just read by CBS 42 that the detectives believe that, or state that your sister also possibly sexually abused the child. Do you believe your sister sexually abused the child that night?
I'm unsure about that.
Okay, you're not sure. Okay.
I'm not sure.
You don't know of your sister committing any sexual crimes against her own children or other children, do you?
I've heard of things about her doing stuff like that to her kids, but I'm not saying that I don't know if it's true or not. You know.
But you heard. Who did you hear it from?
Yeah. I remember family members have said that even when she kidnapped her own kids and stuff like that. Okay. I've heard.
Okay, and we're gonna get into that. So other relatives told you that she molested the children. So did the children say that their mother touched them?
Nah, as far as I know, I never really talked to the children personally, but I've heard it from another family member that they asked the children, and the children have said that they have, she did some things to them.
Okay, so how many children does she have?
She has 6 children.
And where are those children now?
3 of them is with my family member.
Okay.
And the other 3 is with maybe their father or something.
Okay.
Maybe.
Now, you do know that she had committed a crime of trying to kidnap her children. Well, she did kidnap the kids.
Yeah, I do know. I do know. I do know that.
I'm gonna lay it out. She kidnapped the children, went on a high-speed chase, wrecked the car. So, do you believe she's committed any other said crimes that you know of, like theft or identity?
Not really.
Or speeding tickets, anything else? So that is what she was facing at the time when this kidnapping happened with Camille. She was already, I believe, going to court or whatever for that said charge, the kidnapping charge of her own children from her relative's house.
Right.
And that's why they held her. Listen, let me finish this though. That's why they held her without a bond, because of that kidnapping that took place the summer before this incident with Camille. And that is how Patrick was able to get out. He was out only on bond for, I believe it was pornography on his cell phone. They didn't give an age of the said pornography of the children on his phone, but he was able to bond out. He was out a week or so before your sister gave testimony to where the child's body could be found. I do believe your sister only told because she felt like she wasn't getting out of that jail. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree.
Okay. Your sister was in Shelby County Jail, which was in Columbiana, Alabama. It's 42 minutes from Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
She's now in Morgan County Jail. She has been moved, which is in Decatur, Alabama, and Morgan County is 86 miles outside of Birmingham, and it is 1 hour and 13 minutes from Birmingham. Your sister was moved because of what reason, Candace?
Well, I was told that one of the guards broke her hand or wrist, whatever, something like that. And then they were like doing stuff to her food, maybe putting things, I don't know what type of stuff they put in her food, but it was making her sick. They were just harassing her. And so it got to the point where, she was being endangered,
Okay, so you feel like, so you believe your sister was telling relatives or somebody that she felt sick. Did she get sick from the food, or? I'm assuming she did, because this is what I was told from a relative that she said that they were like doing stuff to her food and stuff, and you just doing like harassing her and stuff. Okay. How does the family feel about the charges and now this federal indictment being removed off for death penalty? Federal seeking the death penalty.
But they feel kind of distraught about it. Because it's one of our own, so that they feel hurt, disappointed, whatever like that, and they.
But what about the federal not seeking indictment? How do they feel about that?
I'm not sure if they even I know my dad knows about it, but I didn't really talk to
everybody know that you all do not have the same father.
Yeah, we don't have the same father.
Okay. Do you think anything in your childhood or her childhood is the reason that she went down the path she had? Allegations of her abusing her own children, losing custody of her children, and then this crime here against Camille McKinney?
it plays a big part because think about it. I went through so much too as a child, but the thing is, the difference between me and my sister is that when I got put it in foster care, and
What age?
I got put in foster care at age 4.
Okay.
At
And
age
what age
4
did you
years
leave
old.
out? And what age did you leave out?
I got adopted when I was like 19 years old.
Okay. So how old was your sister when she was?
To be honest, it's been a long time since that happened, so I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't
So
remember.
did she ended up out of foster care at the age of 18?
17.
17? Okay. So she was in there most of her
Yeah,
life.
they emancipated her out at 17.
Okay. So how many children were all total that your mother gave birth to?
You said, well, can you repeat that again?
How many children did your mother give birth to?
4.
And did they all go into foster care?
Yes.
And do you see or hear from any of your other brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Did any of them call or talk to your sister, Dericka?
I have. I've talked to her. But I think not. I don't think my youngest brother have.
Okay. Okay. Is that a personal reason
Yeah.
or he just?
I don't know. I don't even think they don't even have our numbers. They don't have the contact number to get in touch with her.
Okay. Well, they can always call the jail.
Yeah, but the thing is,
well, can't one of you all
phone.
give their numbers to your sister?
You said,
I'm
can
saying,
you repeat
can't you all give Quintessa the number? Would you like to call her Quintessa or Dericka? It's up to you.
Quintessa.
Quintessa, okay. So we'll call her Quintessa. That is her government name. Okay. I'm just wondering what's the issue of them not talking to her? Which brothers and sisters are not talking to her?
I don't know. Maybe they. I know for a fact I have given her my dad's number because my dad also talked to her too.
Okay.
The only people that talk to her is me, my dad, my aunt, and I know my mom, my biological mom talked to her, but I haven't heard from my mom in months, so okay. I don't know if they still keep in contact.
Okay, let's talk about the attorney who reached out to you and talked to you about your sister's case, and you revealed to this chat what was said to you about your sister's case.
Pretty much, I asked a question about this to be sure that what's the things that they were said that my sister did was true, that how the girl died and all that, and she said, yeah, it's true that's my sister did do some of the things that were said as public knowledge.
So your sister admitted to the lawyer that she did sexually assault the child.
Yeah, not she didn't say it directly, but she just said that some of the things that it was said that she did came out to be true.
Allegations. Yeah. Okay, so the allegations were verified. I wonder, how did they verify it? Was it because of the DNA?
I don't
believe in the DNA.
I'm not sure I didn't even go into depths about it. I just said okay.
Okay, so but your sister also has been accused of killing the child alongside Patrick Stallworth. You don't believe your sister murdered William Kitty?
I think she was there. I don't think she actually did actually kill her. I think she was there, but the thing is, at the time, I was told that she was under the influence. So I think she was of drugs.
Do you know what drugs they were?
So I think, I'm not maybe cocaine or something like that. I'm not sure.
So the lawyer told you that she believes that she participated in some way. I don't know how to really work it.
I don't know either. I mean, in some way that she actually was, she had participated, but she was also incapacitated. She was
incapacitated. So that's what she said. She incapacitated. So she basically said she wasn't aware of what she was doing. Is that what the lawyer was trying to tell you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
What else did the lawyer tell you? It was revealed from conversation, if you can.
She said that it was told to me. It was brought to my attention also. Is that they believe that Patrick has a history of murdering people.
And where did that come from?
My my dad told me about it because I think my sister told her lawyer that she witnessed Patrick doing other murders and that she's free for her life, and so that's
Okay.
that and that. So pretty much
let's go there. Do you believe what your sister said to the attorney about possibly Mr. Stallworth being involved in other murders?
Yes, I do believe it.
Because
I mean, if he has a history of being violent, and they also, if she was also abused by him.
Do you have any proof that he was violent and or abusive to your sister?
No, I don't. But
did she ever tell you that he was abusive to her?
No, my sister don't tell me anything like that. She keeps
what would make you think that he would be abusive then?
Because if he has a pattern of doing stuff like that, if he murdered other people and it's just pray for a life, I believe that he has history.
Okay, let's say this. Your sister's the one that gave up the goods to where they could find the baby. And as I said, I do believe she turned out early because she knew she wasn't getting out of jail for the previous kidnapping charge of her own children from foster care. So possibly could this be your sister making this up as to get immunity from this crime?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No.
So let's go here. If your sister witnessed him committing crimes, how's it going to weigh out in court? Because people could weigh it as, well, you stayed alone with this man with other crimes, murder, sexual assault, whatever went down. So why would I think you are a victim when you did it again with this child and you're seen on camera approaching the child and luring the child out of the Tom Brown housing development? But as I always tell people, it can weigh different ways. What I see, the other person don't see. So you're talking about 12 members of a jury. If they get a hold of this information, let's say it's mentioned in court, that only takes one person to say, well, I think she was a victim. But the other side could be, how is she a victim when she's had an opportunity to try to leave this man who is a sexual assault and murdering other people, hypothetically, allegedly.
Well, the thing is that if she's a fear for her life, I mean, why would you go and okay, even though she's been with him,
a year. Looks like a year is what was said.
Yeah, right, a year, right? You have to, but think about it though. If you witness somebody, your significant other, murdering other people, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be watching you too, also, because they're gonna know whether or not you're gonna stay with them or leave them and tell on them, because what I'm saying, that could be one of the reasons why they either get caught or whatever like that. So I believe that either my sister was a fear for her life because she felt like if she told or left anything, it would make her look suspicious. And also, he would come after her or do something to her.
You and I had a conversation before this live.
Yeah, I know.
I told you about how I felt about that at some point we as people have to stand account for our own ways and are participating with people, such as if somebody is abusing us physically, sexually, involving us in other crimes against other people, children, that we will be considered a guilty party either by knowledge and participating. So at some point, I can't sit here and believe in my right mind she didn't have a chance to walk away and go and help and try to go, report any crimes that he's done, and they would have helped her. Somebody in the state of Alabama would have helped her.
Well, we don't know what type of people he knew, though. He can know anybody.
But listen at me now. I told you that you don't tell somebody you're getting ready to go call the police on them.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
I know. Just let me finish. You don't tell somebody you're going to call the police. You tell somebody you're getting ready to go turn them in. You don't tell somebody I'm getting ready to leave. What you do is you articulate a plan to get out, go give the information, and then you don't tell anybody where you're going, so as nobody can go back and tell him or he tried to threaten somebody where they are, because we do have people who do that. And then they'll go find friends and family members and try to intimidate them or threaten them to ask where the woman is. But I don't know his relationship with your friends or family for him to go around stalking people in Alabama to try to find her. But if this is true, she should have left him a long time ago, because we're only talking about a year, they're saying. So how much murder and killing had he done in a year?
The thing is that we don't know how much, killing that he allegedly have done, right? But the thing is that we don't know the thought process of her not saying anything. She could have been up under distress. She felt like as though if she was done anything or said anything, no matter if she felt low, she would have made it out. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is that we don't know, like, the type of people let's say if he was, of course they both was doing drugs, of course that. The thing is, what I'm trying to get at is that, and bring awareness to, is that he could have, like, been tracking her. I'm pretty sure she had a phone. I'm pretty sure both of them had phones. And if he felt that he didn't trust her enough to go out by herself, he could be tracking her, all her whereabouts. And that could have been why she was not able to say anything, because people actually do track people with their cell phones.
Yeah, we know that. But what
I'm saying,
what I'm telling you is, people go into the witness protection every day. People leave dangerous people every day. And the point of leaving them is to start a better life and to try to preserve life. You're not going to be using your phone when you decide to leave somebody. You're going to cut that phone off. You're going to go somewhere safe. You're not going to tell anybody where you are, as to not be tracked.
Right. The thing is, like, how will we know it? The thing is, we weren't there to see anything happen, right? But the thing is, we don't know.
But this is going to be an argued point. She just went into a housing development with him and took a child out of there. Why would I believe a victim? Time before or a time before. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's how
I'm not saying. I know that, but I'm not saying that she's a victim. I'm saying, though, it's certain things, certain parts she played in, yes. But the thing is, if he actually was the one that killed her or whatever, even though she was there and she did not say anything, the thing is, we don't know what transpired, because she's not saying anything. They, neither of them are talking about what actually happened, right? The thing is,
I just read it. I just read what they said happened.
I'm talking about like behind closed doors, like literally, like let's say she probably like
cupcake. You talking about that?
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
No. I'm saying, though, let's say if she felt as though there was no way out. Think about it. If she felt like she was trapped herself.
This is what I'm trying to make you understand, and I'm not trying to be rude to you. But you see her on camera going in the place to get the child. So you can't say she didn't have no control, because she's with him going in, and then they've got them documented trying to lure other children earlier. I read that already.
I know that, but thing is that whenever if she felt as though that she had to do it, if she would, the thing is, I'm not painting her picture as a victim.
Listen, you try to tell me he forced her to try to pick up earlier, plus pick up Camille McKinney and other crimes beforehand. That's what you're saying to me?
Not force her, bro. I believe that I really believe in my heart. This is what I believe. That I'm not saying this is true. This is my personal belief. I'm saying that I believe that it was more of brainwashing than force her with a gun or something like that.
Well, then you can say she either felt obligated or she felt pressured.
Yeah, basically, I feel like she felt pressured or obligated to do exactly what, let's say, if he was coercing her to do those things. That's something that should be looked at also too, because she also has history of mental illness as well. So I'm pretty sure that
you had mentioned before she's in the Shelby County Jail, she had problems. I'd even gotten information about 2 years ago that she did get jumped when she first got into that Shelby County Jail in Columbiana, Alabama. And now you're telling me that a guard allegedly broke her arm or broke her hand?
Something like, yeah, it was something like arrest or something.
Arrest,
Yeah,
arrest. Well,
yeah.
are any of you seeking to have him prosecuted for assaults?
Not, I don't know, not me, but that's just what I was told when that happened. Cause my mom brought that when my at first when me and my mom were talking at first,
Mm-hmm.
my mom brought that to my attention. So I'm not sure if it, um um that they actually pressed charges against the guard. I'm not sure what happened
Okay.
with that information.
Let's go back to the allegations of Patrick killing other people. Do you believe it's true that he has murdered other people?
Yeah, I do. I believe it.
Or do you believe he had your sister involved in the killing of other people?
No.
Do you believe that he's molested other children?
With the child pornography found in his phone, yes.
Do you believe your sister also helped him molest other children?
With the evidence point with the DNA, maybe so, yeah.
What motive would your sister have to go into this Tom Brown housing development to kidnap a child, assault a child, kill a child, hide the lie for over a week, and also try to lure other children into the car earlier that day?
What do I feel about it?
I mean, yeah, because when you say brainwashed, you have to also see that they were out seeking a child on that fateful day,
Yeah.
October 12th.
Which is sick. It's sick.
Yes,
Yes,
very
I
sick.
understand that.
And that's where
Yes.
the brainwashing part is going to become a problem for some, because if those other girls go to court and testify, you got to now convince 12 members of the jury that she's been brainwashed, she's sick, she's bipolar, she's schizophrenic, and she's just going with the flow with Patrick Stallworth.
Right. So the thing is, I believe, like I said, like I really believe that she may not have killed Cupcake or actually murdered her. But the thing is, I feel as though she were involved in some way, and I think maybe when she was incapacitated with the drugs and stuff, because they did prove that with the drugs.
Okay, that they both were under the influence.
Yes.
Did her lawyer tell you that?
Yes, I told her about that. I asked her. She said, yeah, they were
both
under the influence.
Okay. So you're basically saying you think if your sister wasn't under drugs, she wouldn't have never possibly sexually assaulted and or murdered the child?
No, I don't think she would have.
But your sister has been abusive to her own children, correct?
Yes.
She has been accused of putting her own child in a washing machine, correct?
Yes.
Do you believe your sister put the child in the washing machine?
Maybe.
Okay. You there, baby? Hello, Candace? I think she blinked out. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. I'll super chat to welcome during this live. I am talking to Candace Jackson, who is the sister of Quintessa Jackson,
so this information in the murder was passed down to me from family members, and also the.
Hey, Candace, you broke up. We don't know what you just said, honey. You fell off. Hello? She fell off. I don't know what's going on.
Are you there?
Yeah, you fell off. So whatever you said, they didn't hear you. Hello?
Yes, are you there?
I'm here, but I'm saying whatever you said, they wouldn't have heard you because you fell off. She's still off. Thank you, Kinsley. I appreciate that.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here, honey.
Hello?
Yeah, Candace.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're not saying anything. Do you want to call the other way? Would that be better? I mean, it's all off of Wi-Fi anyway. Yes, you're not saying anything, sweetheart.
Hello?
Oh, Lordy. I don't know what's going on. Please bear with me. It's Wendy wherever she is, I'm assuming. Candace. Hello? Candace, can you hear me, sweetie?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, because I can't hear you. I think it's wherever you are. You were better when you were inside.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're not saying anything.
Hello?
Yeah, she's not. This is not working. I'm gonna have to call her by the phone because this is not. Thank you all for joining me. Sorry for the disruption. This is to be expected, of course. Hello? Yeah, can you talk? You're going to talk this way because you're not saying anything. I keep saying something and you just keep saying hello.
Yeah, I was hearing you, but the thing is, I every time when I spoke, I couldn't hear you.
Okay. Well, you were saying something. You were saying something just now. So you're going to have to repeat whatever you were just saying about 7 minutes ago because they didn't hear you.
Okay, they did. Okay. Well, I was saying that pretty much is that the lawyer told me that they were under the influence. Yes. The thing is that you also spoke about that you know kind of find it funny because of other things that she had done. The thing is that I said that she was being brainwashed. She felt like she was trapped and all that. But the thing is, the drugs can make you do things that you can have no control over. So yes, she had its past of doing things to her children, but we don't know that.
Yeah, she did have. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I said it's going to be up to 12 members of a jury to decide about her childhood, mental illness, drug usage, coercion, Stockholm syndrome, however you want to word it. But if there is any proof that she's molested her own children, other children, abused her children, I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, I do believe it will matter in their way. Let me finish. It will weigh, against her in court because it shows a pattern that she has abused other children and her own children. Then she meets this guy. You have to ask yourself, how do you just start molesting children if you haven't done it already because you're with a man and or under the influence of drugs? There are also people who have used drugs and they have never molested children while under the influence of drugs, narcotics, or alcohol.
Right. And that's the crazy part.
Okay. Can you go inside? Can you go inside and talk, sweetheart? Because outside is too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay, yeah, because outside is because it's got a lot of background. Sorry about that, you guys. It's probably windy out.
Also, my mom is
yeah, I wanted to talk about your mother too. The relationship between your mother and Quintessa. Do they have a good relationship?
No, not really. No.
Okay. Well, what does your mother feel? How does your mother feel about the allegations against Quintessa?
Well, she have told me before she don't think none of that stuff is true.
Really? Interesting. Why? Why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
With all the evidence against my sister and stuff and things that's proven her to be guilty, you know, I understand that. Yes, I do. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I do believe she was there. I mean, yes. I do believe that she was there.
Turn your background down, Candace. Turn the other stuff down in the background.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you're gonna have to get somewhere where you can't echo and can't play anything with YouTube in the background. Don't play anything with YouTube in the background, please.
Okay, hold on. Give me one moment.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can come off the stream. Won't you log out of the StreamYard?
StreamYard?
Yeah, come on out of that. But you're still up here on my screen. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
So you believe your sister was there, but you don't believe that she sexually assaulted Camille McKinney. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't believe that.
Even if she's molested her own children.
No, I mean, it's word of mouth, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
I don't know, because the thing is, she's not being charged with, she has not ever been charged with molesting her kids. The thing is, they were taken from her.
I know, but you know, a lot of people have molested people, and they have never been charged because most children don't tell that they've been molested.
Yeah, yes, I understand.
Okay, let's talk about, let's see, she has other children. They're in the care of your family members. So you said, we've talked about allegations of her abusing her children and child molestation. You also said, you tell me that you weren't sure she harmed other children or molested other children, correct?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. That's why I say I'm not sure about what she did things to her own now.
Okay.
The dryers and stuff that I was told that she had put her kids in the dryer.
In the dryer, okay. And you did. I thought when I last talked to you about that a while ago, you said you did believe that she put her in the dryer, the child in the dryer.
Yeah, I do believe that.
Okay. So you see, abuse is abuse to some, because most people say, well, I might beat my child too much or curse my child, but I wouldn't touch my child inappropriately. So you don't even think she touched her own children. You're saying it's word of mouth. Why would somebody make that up? Because that's a hell of an allegation to make up about your own family member molesting their own children.
Because, I mean, like I said, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Now, you can prove that she done that stuff. Not saying that she didn't do it.
Okay. But
saying we don't want to assume that she did something and and she didn't do anything. I think a person is innocent until proven guilty.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the death penalty itself. As I read commentary at the beginning of this video, the federal prosecutors, are not seeking the death penalty against Dericka Brown, better known as Quintessa. Quintessa is her government name. And you've talked about it with a few people. You basically said you don't believe in the death penalty. You don't feel like it would serve any purpose to put your sister to death or Patrick Stallworth. So I guess you're also saying you don't care that Patrick Stallworth gets the death penalty either. You prefer that his life is preserved as well as your sister's, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what if the state continues to seek the death penalty? The jury says yes, because you do know, I didn't read this to you all, but the state of Alabama, the judge can render death penalty even if the jury does not. I didn't tell you that. I meant to tell you the chat that, because I read that. I got the information right here. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
Yes.
No, I did.
Yes. So the state of Alabama, a judge can override and render the death penalty even if the jury says nay. How would you feel if she was found guilty and the state found her and they sought the death penalty and they won it?
I'll feel hurt about it.
Really? You feel hurt? Okay.
Yeah, I'll feel hurt because, that's my sister. She's my only blood sister I have. So
okay.
I feel like, that painful, but I'll get through it though.
Okay.
But the thing is, it still hurt.
So you all had a troubled life with your mother. Can you elaborate on what actually happened with your mother and her said children for you all to go into foster care?
Can you repeat that again one more time?
I said you all went into foster care very young as children. Can you elaborate on why you all were removed from your mother's care? And has your mother ever apologized and took ownership for all of you all going into foster care?
No, she has not. She still makes excuses to this day.
So she says what? I never abused you all. That's what she's saying?
Yeah, she always say that, but I remember her abusing me.
What did she do to you exactly, Candace?
She would just starve us to death and stuff like that. She wouldn't feed us.
Okay.
Things like that. She'll beat us and stuff. And she feel like even any little thing that we supposed to do, she'll just hit us and stuff.
So to your memory, because you were very young when you left the house, about 4, can you recollect how many days you went without food?
Maybe a few days.
Wow.
Maybe. Because sometimes we have to go over to my grandma's house.
Yeah.
To eat.
Okay. So who would take you over there to eat at your grandmother's house?
Either my dad or sometimes just us. Like my sister, we'll walk to my grandma's house.
Okay, so it wasn't far, your grandmother's house to your house?
No, it's not far.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you went into foster care, who was the first home that you went into?
I don't really remember because it's just so long ago.
Okay, I got you. I'm sorry. So what happened? Why you didn't get to stay with your grandmother or aunt or your father? Why didn't these people raise you?
To this day, I don't know. I never got that.
Did you ever ask? Did you ever ask any of them why you didn't take me in? Who did you ask, Candace?
Yes, I have. No, I asked my aunt or something like that.
Yeah.
In the later time, when I was a little older, she did take me in, but I was so bad.
Okay.
And so I got put back in the system.
I see. So you had what, a bad attitude?
Yeah, fighting and stuff like that.
Well, that probably comes from being neglected as a child, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then living in different homes with different rules. It's hard to adjust when you're going around from home to home with different rules and different personalities.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever suffered from any type of mental illness yourself? If you can share that.
They diagnosed me with bipolar.
Okay.
And I was on medication.
Okay. Are you still taking medication?
No, I stopped taking it, and
okay.
To me, from my spiritual point of view,
okay,
I don't believe that I suffer from that anymore because I'm wanting to control my own thoughts and my own anger and stuff like that for myself. So
okay,
so
you had an anger problem. So you had an anger problem. Do you think you still have an anger problem now?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Of course, everybody gets angry, of course, but I handle it pretty well.
Okay. So you feel like you are functioning better without the bipolar medicine?
Yeah, I function way better.
Okay. Do you know if your sister was ever medicated for any type of illnesses?
You said my sister?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quintessa.
she does.
What has she been?
They diagnosed her with also the same thing, but also schizophrenia.
She's schizophrenic. Well, that would be a major problem. Yeah, bipolar and schizophrenic. Your sister. Okay.
My mom also is diagnosed with that too.
Okay, so it's in your family genes. Your mother is also schizophrenic. Very interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, do you believe any of these illnesses could have played a role in her luring the child out of the projects on that fateful night?
her illnesses.
Do you think they played a role? Yes, in her mistreating her children, abusing her children, and the
I believe so.
Allegations against her for Camille.
My mom done the same thing. So I think maybe. I mean, I'm not taking all responsibility from my sister. But the thing is, yes, she knows right from wrong. But the thing is, I really believe that she's, at the time of the crime, I think she was also under influence, and also the illnesses also play a big part.
Yeah, she obviously will have a lot going against her. Mental illness, more than one diagnoses, plus using drugs does not help. But a lot of people will argue the drug situation and alcohol. Okay.
And I know she drank alcohol.
Do you know if she was under the influence of alcohol that night?
No.
Okay. What do you hope comes from this trial that the state will be bringing against Patrick Stallworth and your sister Quintessa?
Just the truth about what actually happened, what transpired. The truth.
Okay. What do you think the truth is, Candace?
Pretty much like hoping that my sister didn't actually kill Cupcake. But the thing is that she was under distress.
Well, the child was missing for over a week, and your sister knew where she was because I believe she talked to law enforcement on that Monday and told where the child could be found in the landfill, and that is where they found her. So that means your sister had knowledge, because naturally Patrick Stallworth wouldn't have told them where she was. So that means she was complicit. So she was complicit in knowing where the child was. How can I word this? She knew it. She never reported the child where she was beforehand. So that shows to me guilt.
Yeah, but okay, I may be wrong. If they does come out saying she actually knew about everything, then I will have to accept the truth.
Okay. So what? So let me say this to you. So let me say this to you. For a week, they both knew where the child was, and nobody said anything. They denied even taking the child, even when they first got arrested. And your sister had stayed in jail because of a violation of probation with the kidnapping of her children the year before. He got out on having porn in his phone. Somebody obviously saw them in that SUV. That's how they were found. But he got to walk free because he didn't have anything against him to hold him. But the thing is, somebody told where the child was found, and I believe it was your sister that told that. So that shows some guilt there, Candace. How would I know where you are? Okay.
Yeah, it does. And it makes her look bad. And that's the thing what I'm trying to figure out myself. It's like,
well, what is it that you're trying to figure out? Because most people will listen to you and think that possibly that you are making excuses for your sister.
No, I'm not making excuses for her. No. I'm just trying to say that, we don't know what her thought process was.
Okay.
What she was thinking at the moment, what she was, we don't know. So I'm not going to assume like she knew exactly, because we don't know. We only can know what she told us. What she told the lawyer. She told,
So what is she telling? So what is she telling the lawyer? That she did not assault the child or kidnap the child? What is she actually saying about October 12th, 2019?
She didn't necessarily say anything about that. She just said that my lawyer said that my sister is still saying she's innocent, basically.
Okay.
This is what I was told from my lawyer, because the lawyer came and saw me.
Okay.
Came to visit me, so she told me where it was, what she was supposed to say to her.
Okay. Do you think the lawyer believed the allegations that your sister told her about Patrick killing other people? Do you believe the lawyer believed that?
Yes, she said that. She told me they do.
Really?
That's why they're looking into it right now. That's why they're looking into it right now.
Okay. So your sister is innocent.
Somebody else.
Say what?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said I I was saying that that's why she has a person investigating that.
Okay. Is there anything else?
They're gonna try to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're gonna try to find out is that actually, true or not.
Yeah. Well, you should know that if they go and confront him, let's say they talk to his lawyer, naturally he is not going to admit to assaulting any other children and or women and or murder.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, because he would be a fool to do that, considering the state is seeking the death penalty for both parties.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So you do believe he's committed other said crimes such as murder. Are you saying that during this live, ma'am?
Yes, I believe that he has the history of that. If it's true, I do believe that maybe he has done things in the past.
Wow. I'm still trying to understand what would make you think that he's killed somebody before or a child before.
My sister claims that she also was abused by Patrick.
Okay. So she told her lawyer that he's hit her?
Right, okay, yes. Because I remember I asked the lawyer about that, and the lawyer told me that my sister said that he, had hit her and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
oh, wow.
If that's true, then yes, I believe that he has history of being violent.
Okay. So the sister said he's hit her before. Your sister.
Abuse her, like whatever,
Okay. I noticed something about Patrick Stallworth day one when I first saw a photo of him, and he strikes me to be homosexual. Does he appear to be homosexual to you?
I don't know about that.
Okay. That's just Queen's observation.
That don't even cross my mind.
Yeah, but I'm just throwing it out there because I noticed that when this mess first started, when they first got arrested, and I believe he's that, and I believe I spoke to somebody close to the case that also believes that he is possibly bisexual. Not that it matters, but just an observation.
Oh, I never heard that.
Because he appears like he's mild-mannered. Because they show a video of him a couple years ago when this case broke open, him playing the piano at church, him attempting to sing, and he doesn't have a criminal record in the state of Florida or Alabama except for this arrest of the pornography on the phone and then the federal indictment for murder of Camille McKinney. But before these two arrests, he had nothing on his arrest record in Florida where he was living or the state of Alabama, to my knowledge. But I think he was one of those people who were flying under the radar. He was walking around perpetrating himself as a decent guy, friendly guy. But I believe there's a whole lot more to Patrick Stallworth.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that's why the lawyer is looking into things like that. Not saying that I don't know if they're going to come up with anything or they're going to prove something.
Yeah.
This is what I was told from the lawyer.
Okay.
Because it was brought to my attention that they believe that Patrick had history of doing other murders and stuff.
Okay, that's a very serious allegation.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So, and I'm not, it depends on. They're already looking into it, investigating it. I don't know exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
This is what I was told from the lawyer herself.
Okay.
She told me that she had somebody looking into it.
Okay. Can you elaborate on anything that you heard that was done to the child while the child was at that apartment that night?
It's gruesome, basically.
This is a trigger. Listen, hold on. This is a trigger warning for anybody that has a weak stomach and or do not want to hear the details of allegations against the two of what they did to the child that night in the apartment. Please remove yourself from the chat and the video. Thank you for joining me. Go ahead.
So far as I know that I've heard is that my sister basically or either Patrick, they basically They had, after they sexually assaulted her,
Okay.
they tried to dispose of her body by burning her hair and stuff.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, is that true? This is what I've heard.
I heard the
don't know if
same.
it's true or not.
I heard the same too. Yeah.
Yeah, burning her hair, and they disposed her in a trash bag and dumped her in a dumpster.
In the construction dumpster that was next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
So I wonder if he, and this is not to be disrespectful, but just common sense, because they'll come out during the trial. If he walked her over through that path, listen, hold on. If he walked her through the path in a plastic bag, or he drove her over to the apartment complex next door and threw her into the construction dumpster, because the sick part of the story is that that child sat in that dumpster for a while. It didn't get empty because they were working on the apartment complex next door, and it was an empty apartment complex next door. A lot of people don't know that.
I think I've heard how long she was in there though. I think it was maybe about like 10 days.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Your sister had to have been the one that told that, because the apartment complex is adjacent to where your sister and her boyfriend live. They said there was a walking path. You can literally just walk through a path and get from either apartment complex to the other. And I believe that is what was said. The child sat in the dumpster for 10 days because it was a construction dumpster. The apartment complex was empty and it was being worked on. So naturally there was a dumpster there where you would dump material from work.
Yeah.
And that's where they put her, was inside of that dumpster. Mercy me. Yeah. So that's what I was wondering, if they carried her over there or drove her over there.
No, I don't know if I don't know nothing about her carrying or being drove. I was told that she was put there. Now, maybe she was carried, or I don't think they carried her.
I can't hear you, Candace. You got too much going on in the background, sweetheart. I can't hear you.
I had to step outside, but maybe I think maybe she was, if she was being carried, I believe that would have been like suspicious, because someone probably would have saw them do it.
But if you're doing it at nighttime, listen, the crime took place at night. I don't know how long they did what they did with the baby, but if you're going at night, maybe not, because crimes do happen. And you have to remember one thing: this went on for over a week and nobody said nothing until it was revealed that the child was in the dumpster. So obviously they took the body over there either by foot or by car and dumped her over there.
Right. And I don't know that part.
Yeah, well, that's where she was found.
So she had...
And the child had hair bows missing as well, because I remember the father mentioning that, I believe, in a live or a Facebook post. Her hair bows were missing. She did have hair bows, barrettes that day. Her mother dressed her in hair barrettes, and I do believe it was said she was found without her hair barrettes. It was also said in testimony from the detective that she was bathed, or Patrick said she was bathed, that your sister bathed the child that night. That's very strange to me.
Is that they gave her some juice or something.
That's probably what they put the methamphetamines and that other drug. They probably crushed it up in a juice and gave it to her to make her fall asleep.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Well, there are very serious allegations against your sister and Patrick Stallworth of sexually assaulting the child, and it's hard to fathom however it went down. It's just a very hard thing to fathom.
Yeah, and even though I barely knew my sister, I try to keep a hopeful mind about her. But if it's the case that she is guilty of everything, then I'm willing to accept everything.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't want to assume anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to assume. I mean, but the thing is, if all evidence points to my sister being guilty, then it's nothing that I could do.
So how do you feel? So how do you feel about what I read in the article, that her DNA, Patrick's DNA, and the child's DNA was mixed in with blood on that plastic cover on the mattress?
How do I feel it's shocking, but
Yes.
I mean, I already heard about that before, so I mean, that's basically icing on the cake.
Yes, it is.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it shows that the child was in the apartment and on a bed. And why would a child, first of all, be there? Two, what would her DNA be doing on a mattress cover?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean,
so in your mind, let me ask you this. So in your mind, you've watched true crime stories, forensic files, different things where they've done DNA testing. How is it that you can't compute in your head that your sister did violate the child because of the DNA, her DNA and Patrick's and the child's all mixed together on a mattress cover?
It's because, Mitch, I still feel like, she's the only sister I have that's blood related.
Yeah, but that's not, but listen. Wait a minute. What does that have to do? No, just listen. What does that have to do with the DNA mixed in with blood? Somebody's blood was on that mattress, not to be graphic. So what I'm trying to understand in your head, why can't you see how did that all those people's DNA get mixed in blood on that cover? What does it have to do with it being your sister? Why can't you just look at the evidence and say, okay, this is illogical for this all three people's DNA mixing together with blood? Why in your head you can't say my sister has sexually assaulted and murdered this child or did all of the above? Why can't you see that, Candace?
It's because it's that deep down inside, it's like, if it's true, I mean, it is true. Deep down inside, it's just like, it's like very, like it hurts a little bit.
Okay. And I can see, listen, I can see that it can hurt, but I also know that some things you can't make up and fabricate. So once a child's DNA has been put, yeah, I'm just saying, but once it's proven that they have something of the child in the room and then where it's located on a bed, we learned that the mattress was on the floor. So that's even more devastating, and your mind starts to process stuff that we shouldn't even be thinking about pertaining to a child, because I don't want to go there. We can use our imagination. So that's why I'm trying to understand why you can't process that.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it's heartbreaking to me too, because I just feel like I wish that, that she, was never part of it, but the more I think about it, the more it's like, okay, yeah, it happened.
Yeah, you breaking up, baby.
I'm inside the house.
Yeah, you just breaking up. That's I'm just letting you know you're breaking up. Sounded static. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, the thing is, like,
I'll try to.
Of course it's true. I mean, yes, of course, DNA doesn't lie. DNA, it's there. It's just like, I don't know. I just want to find at least some type of innocence in her. Like, some hope for her. But if there's no hope, then I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this. If she was not your sister and you were listening to the story and I read what I read to you and this was not your sister, would you feel the same way about the information?
No, I wouldn't.
So why is it so different because it's your sister? I'm just asking.
It's a family member that's close. I mean, yes,
but you really don't know. But you really don't know her. And I'm not trying to be rude, but one could say, well, you really didn't know her. You all came out the same womb, but you really didn't share a bond because you all were all over the place growing up, and you really don't know her. She's just connected to you by blood. Huh?
Yeah, but I still feel connected to her, though. That's what I'm saying. She's
wow.
Still my blood.
Right. But you know that doesn't really mean anything because a lot of us are related to people, but when they have been accused of heinous crimes and they have evidence to the fact, why should I not accept what has been said? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
It's just the truth hurts. It does hurt. It really does.
Yes, I understand. Okay.
And that's what's hurting me because it's like, I know that.
Okay. Yeah, because I think my concern right now for you is that, and this is just my opinion, I do believe that you're in denial of Quintessa's actions on October 12, 2019. I don't think you are really grappling with the fact that they do have DNA. They do have, probably more than what was revealed, because they're not going to tell you everything. And I'm wondering, are you going to even be able to process all of this when it's time for them to go to trial and release all of the information in court? Are you even going to be able to grapple with what else they have against your sister and Patrick Stallworth?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm able to grasp everything, but the thing is that she's still like, okay, I mean, not say that she's my sister. Oh yeah, of course she's my sister, but the thing is, it's like it's all surreal to me because it's like it happened to one of my own, and it's shocking to me. So I feel like I'm living in a dream, whatever.
Okay.
Like that,
so basically what you're saying is that you're in shock at the allegations.
Yes, I'm in shock. And I have not yet processed everything fully
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to describe your commentary in this live, is that you do appear like you're either in shock or denial or both pertaining to your sister. And I get it. That's your blood. That's your sister. You want the best for her. You want the best out of her. But one thing I think you're not really understanding is that you all came from a tainted life, which has put you all in the position of you all having the mental problems and issues you've had in life. That's anybody, not just you, her, that's me, that's everybody. That you are a product of the people that bring you here. You're a product of how you were treated as a child. You're a product of how you go out in life after being a child. All these little things form us from the moment we come out of our mother's womb. How they talk to us, how they treat us, how many people they let come in our lives, what people have done to us. And I do believe that her being abused by your mother and possibly others was a trigger factor in how she ended up becoming a young mother, also having mental issues, probably diagnosed late in life. I don't know for sure. And then she ended up having child after child after child after child, possibly no help from other family members, no fathers. And it was not a good mix. It's not a good mix. So you are currently pregnant yourself, are you not, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
How far along are you, ma'am?
No, he's due next month on the 7th.
Okay, congratulations to you and your husband.
Okay.
Are you scared to be a mother, Candace?
No.
You're not? Okay. You feel like you...
happy.
Okay, but you do feel like you can do a good job being a parent after all the things you've witnessed as a child and what you're seeing now with your own sister and her children?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Woo, mercy. What a story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, I am in shock, and yes, it's just me. It's like I am a little bit in denial because it's like
somebody in the chat says they think you should get counseling. I can't tell her to go get counseling. If she don't think there's anything wrong with her, I can't do that. Because I already asked her when she's taking her medicine and she told her no, so I can't tell somebody what they should and shouldn't do. Do you feel like you need counseling?
No.
Okay, so that's the end of the conversation.
Like I was saying, I said, yes, I may be in denial. Yes, I am. It's just like, it's shocking to me because it happened.
Okay.
It happened in my family. So it's like, I'm still like, oh my God, I'm saying, oh my God, like, I never knew that it was going to happen, you know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
It's like really hard, you know.
Somebody in the chat is bringing up some old he said, she said from a long time ago. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but there are still some people who follow me that believe that others were involved, such as the parents. Do you believe the parents had anything to do with aiding your sister and Patrick Stallworth in the kidnapping and murder of Camille McKinney?
At one point in time, yes, I when the case was happening, when it was fresh.
Yeah.
I did.
Before they found the body.
Mention that. Yeah, before they found the body, that I feel like the mother had something to do with the death.
Okay. So, do you believe that now?
I still do in a way, yes.
Really? Tell me why.
It's more to the story because I feel like it's more to the story than what's said. Because the thing is, it wasn't just Cupcake there. It was a video of
another child.
Another
yes.
girl playing.
And let me go there for a minute. There was another child with Cupcake in this video. It's dark and grainy. But anyway, you can see two children playing and one person walking up and another person walking up. I also questioned that at the time. Why didn't they take both of the children? Why did they choose Camille? See, that's something I should probably ask you that too. You probably can't give an answer because you don't know your sister well enough to answer because she's denying everything. Why do you think they chose Camille McKinney and not the other child and take the two?
Because I believe it was something like involved with drugs or either kidnapping, whatever like that. Somebody owed somebody some money. I believe that she was targeted because, like, I think either the mom knew my sister or something like that. I think somebody knew somebody.
Okay. See, there was a lot of rumors on Facebook. That's how all this mess got jumped off when the father decided to come out and speak. I think that was the first day, that Sunday, he went live talking about kidnapping and ransoms. And I think he made it worse because nobody knew anything about ransoms and this and that. What was the truth? You know, him arguing back and forth with this Nolan character and Two Guns Vito, just putting a lot of extra stuff in there that didn't need to be up in there. But sometimes, you know, people need a scapegoat because they ain't living right and they want to be seen and a clout chaser. That's why I learned the word clout when it came from the Camille McKinney case. I didn't know who was involved, not involved. When they arrested your sister and Patrick, I was rather stunned because I thought possibly that these parents could have had something to do with it just from all the rumors. But I know it's not good to listen to rumors. Let me finish. Just let me finish. The thing that made it worse is, like I said, when he first went live, a day after the child went missing, he put the rumors on the chopping block because nobody would have known anything about robbery, stick-up man, any of that type of stuff. He's also posted in pictures at the Centerpoint condominium complex with money to his ear. So that put him there. Now, when he took that photo, I do not know. But you see, people take those little things like pictures and photographs and they run with it. And that's how the gossip starts. That's why I said he helped aid the gossip. And to this day, he has never spoken about who was wanting a ransom. I do not know if that is made up by him, but I felt like he made the case worse with the gossip. And that made people talk about him, the baby mother, other baby mothers, other he said, she said gossip, their connection with Patrick and Dericka, because I know Birmingham is small. It's just like, you know, Knoxville, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Memphis. They're all the same. People know people.
Yeah.
People know people.
And also, too, with the mother, the thing is that I really believe, because I even said this to her myself. I literally did this. Like when that kept happening, I had a chance to talk with April. Mm-hmm. That's the mother's name, and I had actually accused her of had something to do with it because I believe that the day that the child was missing, she was nowhere to be found.
Okay. Well, where do you think she was? Listen, where do you think she was?
Doing something she had no business doing.
Such as what?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the one problem I have.
She was with the child. The child is too young to be by herself.
Yes, she was. I will say that. And a lot of people don't like people to say that because I did speak to another one of your relatives who really is in favor of April. I'm going to go ahead and say that during the live. I've talked to somebody else affiliated with your family who is in favor of April, but I let the person know because people know how I rock. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm entitled to my opinion, and I give my opinion. I don't condone nobody leaving a 3-year-old unattended for hours. That child was unattended for hours, and it is also alleged that she was in another part where there was a big bouncy house and left unattended with her brother. And that's why April fell out with some girl on Facebook, because that girl brought forth that allegation. And also, I didn't like April's behavior that night, which I was able to get access to video of her, talking crazy to a neighbor who was filming, what was going on outside. She was going live in a missing persons group. And I thought to myself then, why would you be getting an attitude with somebody who's asking you the name of your child so they can spread the name of your child? That's all the young lady was trying to do. But instead, you want to sit here and harass this woman who lived here when you should be out there looking for your kid. Why are you not walking around the projects and the neighboring streets looking for your kid? You was too busy focused on this one chick, which I thought was ridiculous. And even now, years later, I'll say it now. Why would you be focused on somebody who was trying to get information out there about your child, and you want to sit here and argue with them and your child is missing? See, this is when I start to think about a lot of the people involved don't need kids. And I'll say that right now, I don't think April Thomas or Dominic need children, because their behavior after the fact was asinine to me and very disrespectful to the living and the dead. Go ahead. I just have to get that out.
And the thing is, yeah, and I agree, because okay, supposedly they were invited to this birthday party.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention that too, that I don't like the fact that the articles keep putting that in their articles, that the child was invited. No, she was not. That's the lie that the mother spun. I don't like that.
The day that she did that live, the mother, she was not, when the time when her kid went missing, even before that, she said she dropped off her kid, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is that think about it. I understand everybody know each other, it's in a close-knit community, right? If everybody, having parties, whatever, supposedly, right? The thing is, you already know that it's crazy and sick people out here in the world, especially with young kids and stuff like that. It doesn't matter if it's at a birthday party. I'm not going to, if I was with my nieces and nephews, something like that, I'm not going to leave them around, by themselves. I'm going to be with them.
Okay.
This is me.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't do it.
I feel like this, and I said this during my videos years ago, that whatever came out pertaining to the disappearance of the child, I would accept it. Whoever got arrested, I'd accept it. And I did. When they arrested your sister and they arrested Patrick Stallworth, I let it go. I did not implicate April or Dominic after the fact. My problem with them was their dirty mouths and their attitude sucked to me. It sucked during the child disappearing, and it sucked to me after the child being found and your sister and Patrick being arrested. My thing is, it's the little things you do to help hype up a situation, such as the cases I talk about now with Cal City and Summer Wells. The parents are the ones who've made the situations worse for people to gossip and keep up mess. Had you all lay back in the cut and keep your mouth closed, nobody would be gossiping about you and spinning all these webs of who you're sleeping with and how many baby mamas you got, and you the stick up man, and you robbed this, and they think you robbed the Wells Fargo. See, that's stuff that should have never even came out. So that's when people start spinning more webs. Well, maybe somebody he robbed did it, or maybe it's retaliation. Then next thing you know, he bringing in an Alabama rapper into the fold, accusing him and his friend of taking the child. See, that's when he got out of control. He should have never opened his mouth. He should have never opened his mouth. And then after the little girl is buried, here come April, talking crazy, arguing with people on Facebook. That showed me right there that you all never gave. Listen. That showed me that these people never cared about their children, because this isn't how you behave during your children missing and when your children are found deceased. You act like you got some damn sense. You don't go to social media hyping up shit, arguing with strangers and people. You don't do it. But that showed me these people are street people. That's the reason why all these cases are similar, because they're street people breeding babies. You have lots of missing children in America. You have a lot of missing black children, white children, Mexican. You don't see their parents on social media arguing with people on Facebook, arguing with people on YouTube. They have enough respect to only talk to the news only. And that's how it should be done.
And that's the thing I have a problem leaving your kid unattended, you know, and then they end up coming up missing, you can't blame nobody but yourself.
Yeah. Well, she still felt like.
And I felt, don't get me wrong, I feel bad that it happened to her kid.
Well, of course, because yes, I understand nobody had no business messing with the children, but you cannot leave children out all day and think something won't happen to them. It doesn't even have to be a kidnapping. It could just be they got bit by a dog, or they ran out in the street, got hit by a car, chasing a ball, anything. Somebody could have been a child molester on the property. Could have been a child molester on the property. Some kids could have been roughhousing. She got in the mix. They could have knocked her down. She could have hit her head. Anything could happen when you're not watching your children. It doesn't matter if it's in a park, your house, grandmama's house, a housing development. When you're not watching them, anything's possible. And that's where I had the problem with her. Is that she made up a lie, her and her cousin, about this 3-minute bullshit. I looked out and they was in the bouncy house and just a bunch of bullshit. And it was disrespectful. And then going off on people, she's arguing with this neighbor. Then cousins and aunties want to come and get in, want to act, want to be gangster. Hell, that's the reason why the damn kid got taken. Because your focus was never on the child. And then she goes to Facebook. Yeah, I'm going to call a spade in his life. Saying stupid shit about her own son. Oh, he's too clingy. Who says that? He just lost his sister. Obviously, he loved his sister. That let me know right there. She didn't care for her kids. Then we got video of her walking, doing a live. The little girl's riding on a tricycle all the way around the fucking building while you on a fucking phone going live trying to be seen, and your child's already around the damn corner. Somebody could have took her then. No focus on the kids. And it's ridiculous. And it's going to continue to happen when you have people who don't know how to rear their babies. And nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but you have to own your mistakes. You have to own your part in what you did not do. And just like she had the nerve to go on social media saying, I still see kids walking to school without their mom and daddy. Who gives a fuck? What that's got to do with your baby being kidnapped and killed? You ought to be telling them parents, hey, walk your kid to school. Get your lazy butt up and walk your kid to school. Why the hell are you going to sit up and go on a live and say, oh, well, people still, kids going to school and ain't got no parents walking with them. Well, what that's got to do with yours? Because you're missing one. See, the blatant disrespect. She has no respect for herself. And she didn't have no respect for her children. That's why she's minus a child right now. That's why she's minus a child right now, because she has a no care attitude. And I hope for her sake she changes her attitude. I hope that baby daddy changes his attitude, because they seem like people who were too busy bickering with one another at the time. That's why this tragedy, I believe, happened.
Yeah. And it's like I said, I do believe that my sister do need help as well.
Well,
I really do.
The question is going to be, if she ends up being found guilty, what help is she going to get? Because if she ain't coming out that prison, it won't even matter if she gets any help, because she ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you're right.
Lord have mercy. What do you think of Patrick Stallworth? That's one person we didn't address during this live. In the commentary I brought and read in this live, it says they had been together just a year. So we have to ask ourselves, how did your sister get under the influence of being in the company of a man, using drugs, doping up a child with drugs? How long had he been on drugs? How long had your sister been on drugs? How are we also saying that your sister's a deviant and she met a deviant, and that's how they were evenly yoked in kidnapping this child, assaulting the child, and murdering the child, also trying to lure other children into their vehicle on that same day? What do you think of Patrick Stallworth as a person?
Well, when I first met him in person, because in 2019, I was getting ready to go to the job corps.
Okay.
And I wanted to visit my mom at the time, and so happened to my sister heard that I was back.
Okay.
And And so she came to see me, and that's when I met Patrick.
Okay. So what did you think of him on your first meeting?
I didn't think, to be honest with you, I thought something was off with him.
Such as what?
It seemed like,
Such as what? Such as
I don't
what?
know, I just felt a weird vibe coming from him, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Okay.
But he seemed like he was nice.
Yeah.
He was really well mannered.
Yeah, and that's I think that's what got him to where he could be a sadist, because most people will say that about a sadist. They don't come off as brash and rude and loud and obnoxious. Right.
He was more quiet.
Yeah, that's what I said. Quiet, yes. That's what I took from him, and I didn't even know him, but I did think that he was a quiet person. He didn't talk much, but who better to be slithering in the grass is a quiet little mouse snake. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody that don't make a lot of noise. Somebody don't draw a lot of attention to themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I didn't, when I met him in person, he was really nice. Because me, my sister, and him went to the movies together. We all had time. We all had fun. Then I went back home and they went their separate ways. But it was time they let me borrow one of the cars that they had. Because I had just got my permit, but I didn't have my license. Okay. And so I was, still learning how to drive and stuff. But the thing is that during that time frame, within that maybe 2-3 weeks, I spent time with my sister and Patrick, and doing that, it seemed like it was.
So how long ago was that up? So how long ago was that up until the time that they committed the crime?
It was in 2019.
So that's the same year.
Yeah, same year.
Mm. So what do you think of him now versus the mild-mannered person you met?
I just think he just, I really think he's sneaky.
Okay.
It's more to him than what
meets the eye. Do you believe he is the one that sexually assaulted the child?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's the one that killed the child?
Yes.
And do you believe he's the one that discarded the child?
Yes.
What would be the motive? He's a sadist? He's a closet sicko? What do you think?
Just a pedophile.
Pedophile. A pedophile that went under the radar.
Yeah.
And I know I've asked you this earlier pertaining to your sister. Do you believe that she is also a pedophile?
No.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure I touched on everything in this live pertaining to the allegations against the two, the DNA, the relationship. They've been together a year. So what's been reported in the news. He said, she said, pertaining to the jump off of this case. Your relationship with your mother, your parents, your relationship with your sister, the death penalty itself. I've let it be known in this live that the federal indictment has been taken off the table for the death penalty, but the state is still suing for the death penalty for Patrick Stallworth and Dericka Brown, Quintessa Jackson. And in this live, Candace Jackson is the sister of the suspect, and she's been giving her commentary to Everyday Shenanigans pertaining to this, the allegations against her sister, her life in foster care, her sister's life in foster care, their upbringing with their mother, the relationship between the mother and the suspect. You've told us how your mother feels. She does not believe that your sister harmed the child, assaulted the child, and or murdered the child. You're basically saying that you're in shock that your sister has been accused of these said crimes, but basically you really don't know your sister personally because you all grew up in separate households and also in foster care. Is there anything else that I have left out pertaining to this?
Another thing too that I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
Also, my biological mom told me also that she did brought this to my attention.
Okay.
Way before the crime had conspired. That my sister and Patrick were doing drugs in her house.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, is your mother a drug addict?
Yes.
Is your mother currently using drugs?
Not that I know of, not right now. But
okay.
My mom has been in and out of
rehab.
In and out of rehab.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay.
So she said that when she stopped doing it at first, after the rehab thing, because the last time she had it, she was trying to stop and get better.
Yeah.
But then my sister and Patrick came over there and they was doing stuff. And then
So I wonder why. So I wonder why would they bring drugs to your mother's house? That's crazy to me.
I don't even know.
Well, do you think that your mother knew that your sister was getting high and perhaps your mother asked them to come over and bring some dope to the house? Could it be that your mother asked them to bring some dope?
To be honest, sometimes I don't really be trusting my mama like that because she does lie sometimes.
Okay.
But I mean, she claimed that my sister would get high over there, and then that's what made her, you know.
Okay. So you saying your mother did have traffic going in and out of her house at that time?
Yes.
So possibly your mother knew that her daughter got high.
Yeah, she did. She knew.
Okay, so then she probably summons them to bring some dope to the house. One could say.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Wow, that's deep. Parents getting high with their children. I don't condone that either. I've seen a lot of that here in East Tennessee. An entire family. I know of an entire family where everybody damn near got high. Uncles, aunts, nephews, brothers, sisters. I just thought to myself, how could an entire family be crackheads? It is the most disturbing thing in our culture, but I'm sure it is in other cultures as well. There are a lot of white people that get high because in this area, a lot of white people are on pills and meth. And you got sisters doing it, mothers and sisters, mothers and sons doing it, and it's despicable to me. You have reached an all-time low when you have decided to go get high with your own son or daughter. I don't even condone mothers and daughters and brothers and sisters getting smoking marijuana together. I think it looks very distasteful for a woman to be passing a blunt with her own daughter, or a father passing a blunt with his daughter or son. That just is uncouth. That's my opinion. Are they being tried? They're being tried separate, aren't they? Don't they have their own lawyers?
I'm not sure. No, wait. They are tried separately.
Say what?
I think they are being tried separately.
Yeah. I thought they had different attorneys. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to touch on in this live, because there's some people who are coming into the live late. If you need to refer back to any information pertaining to this information, it is in the beginning of this video. Everything about the death penalty and also information about the state and federal. Each one can seek the death penalty, but the federal prosecutors have decided not to seek the death penalty against Patrick Stallworth and Dericka Brown for the murder of Camille McKinney. But the state of Alabama is pressing forward, and we are waiting now on a trial date for this said trial, because it is way, way behind on the docket. It should have been on the docket about 2 years ago. So that's the said information. Anything else you'd like to touch on pertaining to the allegations against your sister and Patrick Stallworth, the case itself, your feelings toward the case, her attorneys, anything you'd like to be revealed before I check out of here, ma'am?
No, that's pretty much what I had to get off my chest.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If, let's say your sister is found guilty and they do render the death penalty, I don't know that you even allow visitors once you've been put on death row. So I can't even say, would you go visit her? Because I don't think you're allowed any visitors. I'm not really sure how that works in Alabama. But if you were allowed to go see her, would you go see her?
To see her die or whatever?
No, not die, but visit her in prison.
Oh, yeah, I want to see her.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, let me ask you something. How many girls are there? 2 girls?
It's me, my sister, and 2 little brothers.
2 little brothers?
Yes.
Do the other brothers have any mental illness? They do. What do they have?
Pretty much the same thing. Schizophrenic.
So, well, both aren't schizophrenic, are they?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, so that gene is being carried from your mother to her children.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if any of her parents are schizophrenic. Did you know of your grandparents being schizophrenic?
No, I don't. I had a good relationship with my grandmother.
Your mother's mother?
Yes.
Okay. But she didn't raise you all the way to 18, though, correct?
No, she didn't.
And you don't ask, and you don't wonder why? Why not?
I stopped asking that a long time ago because
Okay.
I kind of accept the truth that maybe that I needed some help.
Okay. So what are you saying? Your grandmother said you were unruly?
No, my grandma was fine to me.
Okay. But I'm just saying, one's gonna question why she didn't raise you. Is what I'm saying.
Because I guess maybe she's too old with her.
Okay. Well, how old is she now, Candace?
She's passed away.
Okay. Well, how old was she when she passed away?
I was like 15 when she passed away.
I'm saying, how old was she?
I was in Tennessee when she passed away. Maybe she was.
She was what, honey?
She was in her 80s, I think.
Okay. Well, somebody says they are allowed visitors. I didn't know because I know they're locked down most of 23 hours, so I didn't know how the visitor thing. I mean, I know there's been people who have visited them, such as clergymen and people that done documentaries and TV shows, things like that. True crime shows. Okay.
Yeah. I was in the facility.
Well, this is one question I had for you, and then I'll check out of here. Do you have any animosity towards your mother or anybody else that did not raise you and do right by you and your brothers and sisters?
No, I let them go. That ain't go a long time
ago. Okay.
No, I don't have any animosity.
Okay.
I talk with my mom. The thing is, I don't talk with my mom. I just talk about things. I don't, have the energy.
Okay. Well, it's right. It takes up a lot of time venting, ranting, holding hatred, animosity towards people. But, a lot of us as people have been mistreated terribly by others. So it's a matter of trying to move past the hurt and the pain and the betrayal. And some people can't. And that's just a sad thing. But there are a lot of adults right now who don't care for their parents, who don't care for their siblings, their aunties, uncles, people who didn't step in to help, people who aided the people to abuse them and not step up to raise them. And I can see how a person would say to a person, I don't really have anything for you. You didn't help me when I needed you. I was a child. I needed a place to sleep. I needed a home. I needed food. I needed shelter. I needed love. And you didn't give it to me. Because you see that a lot with people,
one of my aunties did take us in at one point in time. But I was so literally, I was so bad as she could hear me like that.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. That's why I said your upbringing is probably the reason why you had a bad attitude growing up. When you've been mistreated, you don't have any hope. See, every child don't act the same. Some children will be docile in behavior. Then you have other children who will act out. Every child is not the same. Then you got to count if they have developmental issues. All those things are a factor in your disposition as a child. And those same factors will play a role as you grow up to become an adult.
And I tell you, the only thing, and afraid I want to see. It's just what I'm afraid of. Because they're gonna know, all this gonna be out on the trial.
You're breaking up.
Oh, I got you on speaker.
Hold on.
The thing is that pretty much once they everything out.
Thank you, Brittany.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so start over, baby.
I was saying that the only thing that I'm afraid of is that the thing that
I can't hear you. You're breaking up. You're afraid of what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing I'm afraid of is that once the jury realized that I have had a way out of all the things that had happened to me, and I chose a better path.
Yeah,
they're gonna think that she chose.
Yeah, but that's what I've been trying to make you understand, is that everything is a choice. Even if you all had similar backgrounds, you chose to go off and get a training. Your sister did not. That was her choice. She chose not to get any type of school and training. You know, have children with no husband. I don't believe that she's married, because you never told me that she was married. No. So she had a lot of children out of wedlock. So that was her choice. And that was her choice also to not get help if she thought she needed help. And also to get tangled up with this man who is obviously a pedophile and a sadist. But there's also a high chance that your sister is also the same. And I know that's probably hard for you to digest. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I'm going to be honest and want everybody to know that she ran away. Some things she was hard-headed. She didn't listen. Okay. She did what she wanted to do. Yeah, she probably got in the wrong company of a lot of bad men in her lifetime. Yeah. Yeah. Plus, having developmental issues herself. That's probably what's going on. They're going to hang her up on that too. I really think they're going to use that she's had a very terrible past, meeting the wrong type of men and people, drugs. Then she also has issues of mental disability, schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever else the doctors will bring forward. She's just had a very jacked up life. But the point about having a jacked up life is once you become 18, people will judge you accordingly. And they're not going to care that you didn't have a mama or a daddy. Nobody cares if somebody mistreated you, didn't feed you, locked you in a closet, sexually abused you. They feel like, that's the past, it's over with, grow up. You understand what I'm saying? That's how people view people. You got to move on. You can't keep carrying the load from your past. But some people don't let that go. And so they go out and they act out. They act out as children and they act out as adults. It happens all the time. That's why we have a lot of creepy people walking around. A lot of creepy people were abused as children. Sadly, they were molested, sexually assaulted, physically, verbally abused, tortured, and then they grow up to be just like their perpetrator. And that's the sick part of being abused, is that you become the abuser. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes the abused become the abuser, and the cycle doesn't stop if a person won't acknowledge that he or she has a problem. I think people need to say that to themselves. Hey, I fancy children. I fancy, you know what I'm saying? Sadistic behavior. I need to go get myself some help. This is not normal, what I'm thinking about, what I'm desiring and fantasizing about. I know I don't have no business desiring a kid, a baby. I have no business wanting to rape a woman or a boy or a girl or a man, however it goes. Please seek help. Because they are saying that there's really no help for people with this type of sadistic behavior, with sexual assault and deviances. They've said that. There's no help for them. I've heard a lot of psychiatrists, a lot of scholars say that there's no help. There is no point of returning. And that's a very scary analogy of a human being. Yeah. So, I get it. Lord. Yeah, she had charges of neglect. Dericka Brown had been charged. Her children were moved out of her care. Her relative was taking care of her children, and she ended up kidnapping the children at gunpoint from the relative's house a year before she and Patrick Stallworth assaulted and murdered Camille McKinney. Go ahead. And you know what's crazy is I'm gonna tell you something too that I want to say. When I was
hanging with my sister. My sister was telling me about it too in that same truck that was seen on video.
Yeah.
She was telling me about that incident too, where they said that she kidnapped her kids, and she explained to me what happened from detail. And it's insane. Like she told me about that incident. And I was visiting my mom and needing to go back to job board.
I'll say what now? I understand what you're saying.
I'm saying that my sister, when I was waiting to go back to Job Corps, my sister, and I was hanging with my sister at a park one day, she had told me about the incident where about the kidnapping thing.
What you mean, on the phone she told you?
No, she told me in person.
Oh, you talking about kidnapping her own children?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard she pulled a gun out on your relative.
Yeah, she was telling me about it.
Well, what did she say?
Why she did it?
Why did she do it?
Well, because she felt like she wanted her kids back, and she felt like they wasn't being treated right.
By your relative?
Yeah.
Well, do you think your relative was mistreating the children?
I don't know. That's what she was telling me, and I was like, okay, but they didn't give you right to go do that.
Yeah, pull a gun out. No, she should have told the social worker, whoever was dealing with her case at the time, if she felt like her kids were being mistreated.
They didn't have any
evidence.
Evidence.
Well, I wonder if they asked the children if your relative was abusing the children too.
Maybe. The thing is, I told my sisters, like, you shouldn't go out and do that because
she made that worse for herself. She made that worse for herself. Pulling the gun out, pulling the gun out, going on a high-speed chase. She could have killed herself. She could have killed the kids. She could have killed somebody else on the road.
Right. Yeah. So she was already,
she had lost control. She was already out of control. Your sister was out of control. And then she's wrapped up with this sadist who's a pedophile. Your sister was on a bad path, man. Just bad.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourselves, how do people get on these paths? That's probably the next live I'm going to do, because I think I'm going to veer away from the actual cases about people. I will probably tone that down because I'm burnt out on all of that.
Yeah.
But I want to delve into the mind of a killer, the mind of a sadist. Why do people commit these said crimes against other humans? Because this could have been avoided had your sister got some type of mental help, and possibly had Patrick Stallworth reached out and got help for himself as a deviant. But that's the thing about deviances. Most people don't want to get fixed, and most people are too ashamed to go to somebody to say they have some very sick questions. Yes, Mr. Barton, what is it? Lord have mercy.
Yeah, somebody in the chat wants to ask a question.
Yeah, I see that. What is your question? Well, this is a very, very disturbing story because the child deserved life. And no matter how chaotic her upbringing was with her parents, with them bickering and fighting and moaning and, taking to social media with this BS when the child went missing, and thereafter, she didn't choose them as parents, just like none of these children choose their parents. And that's the sick part of these stories, is that a lot of these children, when they become missing for whatever reason, this case was abduction. The case in Rogersville, some of us believe the parents are behind it. As with Cal City, those adopted parents are behind those children's murders. In the end, it still seems like each case, the children had jacked up lives and upbringings to me. Two are proven. Can't say exactly what was going on with April and Dominic, but what we saw play out on social media was not good.
And that's the thing too. It's like once everything is set, exposed out on the trial, it's like it's gonna be like
you're breaking up. What are you trying to say?
I was saying that I said once the trial is starting, it's happening. It's put out about what happens to do information.
I can't hear you, Candace.
Like, can you hear me now?
Yeah. What are you trying to say, sweetheart?
I was saying that once the trial is happening and everything's out on the floor and they telling all the details about what Patrick and Contessa had done and were doing, it's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be a lot of information that I probably never heard of. And
well, I think it's gonna be a lot of information. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of information that nobody's heard of. That's the whole point. These people live in secretive lives. Your sister and him. There's gonna be some things about your sister you didn't know about her. Things about Patrick you didn't know. That's the whole purpose of each person. Attorney finding investigators to bring forth information to help for their side, defense and the state. We also will probably get information also brought into court pertaining to the bio mother and daddy. The defense has got to do his job to try to get his clients out. So he's going to do everything, or she, to get the client off. So that means digging in, poking holes into the bellies of these bio parents. See, that's something people don't seem to understand. It's not a joke. It's not a game. You're out here goofing off, playing these mind games with your children and other people. You don't think about the day that something bad happens to your child. When you go to court, every little thing that you ever did or said, if somebody decides that he or she wants to repeat that, embellish, whatever, lie, they will do it in a courtroom. It has happened and it will continue to happen. That's why you need to watch what you do when you are out here in the street and stay your black tail off of social media. Stop putting every little thing you do and say up there. Because right now, a lot of people don't have jobs because they were on social media running their mouth, calling people nasty names, talking about people, talking about the fetishes and what they like to do on the weekend and how much, beer they drank and wine they drank, not thinking somebody could go report that and you got kids to take care of. You got a job to have. You got to have a place to sleep. People don't think about that until after the fact. Keep your personal business off of social media. Watch your children. Watch who's around your children. Mind your children. It all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Especially when I got 3 stepdaughters and I have my first baby on the way. I'm not gonna be leaving my kids. I don't care how old they are.
You're not gonna do what?
I said I have 3 stepdaughters and a baby. I'm not going to be leaving my child either because.
Well, you have to be careful who you leave your children with. That's true. That is very true. That is very true. You have to be careful letting people keep your kids because that is also how things go bump in the night. And now you've got to explain to DHS supervisor what happened to your child if your child was injured.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. And you also have to behave, mind the people that you think you know that have access to your children. Because as you've seen, and that things can happen with people who you're dating, married to, brothers, sisters can also harm your child.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, and I meant to ask this earlier. Was your sister ever sexually assaulted by your mother or anybody else in the family or outside parties?
Yes, I was told that she was sexually assaulted.
By whom? By who?
Like foster parents that she was living with.
Okay, foster parents. But nobody immediate in your family?
None that I know of.
Okay. And you also told me you didn't know where her father is, her biological father, your sister.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I remember seeing a picture. It was a year before the same year I'm friends with my sister on Facebook.
Okay.
Showed up with her dad.
Okay.
But the thing is, I never met her before, so I didn't connect with her.
Okay. Well, I pray that you have a healthy baby next month, you and your husband. Everything works in your favor. And we will be watching to see any new developments. I didn't even get a notification about this federal indictment of the
I was told, yeah,
federal, what I'm trying to say, death penalty issue. I usually get notifications. With news and nothing came up. Now I had to go in and search when I was just searching about the case itself, information. That's when the article first pulled up when I went in to look. But I thank you for joining me. And any information you get pertaining to your sister and the case, feel free to contact me anytime to let me know. I'll bring the said information out so people can hear the said information. But I appreciate everything. And I appreciate you doing this interview with me, spur of the moment, since this was supposed to have been planned over a month and a half ago. But I thank you for joining me.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
Okay, honey, you take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, that's Candace Jackson. She brought said information pertaining to this case. Her sister went by the name Dericka Brown, name she gave herself, but her government name is Quintessa Jackson. Candace also carries that last name, Jackson. Candace is now married, pregnant with a baby due next month. I believe she said it's a boy. I pray for her plight as a new mom, as a woman, as a human being. Because when you come from tainted people, things can go array of ways as a child and as an adult. You have no guarantee on anything. As they always say, it's your response to how you're going to fare in life. And that's true. It's easy to pop off, jump off, get mad, get an attitude, have a temper. All those things come from childhood. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And we do judge people when they're older, like, oh, he got an attitude, she got an attitude. Well, you don't know what they've been through. But the flip side of that is you can't use that as an excuse every day either after the age of 18. Nobody really cares that you had a bad life. Your parents beat you, abused you, you were tortured, sexually assaulted. At some point, you can't use that as an excuse. Well, I was abused. That's why I act like this. It's not going to work. Can't sell that every day. And I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of people don't care that you were abused as a child. People don't even really care that you're abused now and you're an adult. What they're going to do is tell you, suck it up, deal with it, move on, get on. See, everybody's entitled to their opinion, how they feel. Everybody navigates differently, think differently. That's why we're all unique individuals, because we don't act the same. 5 children could be raised in the same household with the same 2 parents, and all 5 would have a different perception of how they were raised, because that's just the way it is. Everybody's perception is different. Everybody's treated differently. Know that. Everybody's not treated the same, even in a household with the same mom and daddy, same auntie, uncle. One will say they were loved, the other one will say they were not. One will say they was abused, another one will say they were not. Could be possibly true. Who's to say that it's not? Everything's about perception. I want to thank Candace for joining me, bringing me the commentary about Quintessa Jackson, who was an African-American female facing the death penalty by the state of Alabama alongside Patrick Stallworth, her boyfriend at the time. And I do believe it is Miss Jackson who brought forth the information to where they could find the baby, Camille McKinney, inside of a dumpster at a vacant apartment complex. That's where she was buried. And Quintessa did not come forward when the child was missing. So people will hear that during testimony during the court trial. Why didn't you say anything, Quintessa Jackson? Why didn't you call the police to say there was a child in your house? Let's say, hypothetical, you had nothing to do with anything. Why didn't you call the police? But they have you on camera going into the Tom Brown development alongside somebody else, which we believe is Patrick Stallworth, and both of you lured the said child out of the development and into your vehicle and took her to Center Point, where you are being accused of sexually assaulting a child, drugging a child, suffocating a child, torturing the child, and discarding a child in a dumpster. That is the sad information. You're entitled to your opinion of what you believe. You're entitled to your opinion of who you believe is still involved. I still have fans who follow my content from this case, and they still believe that there are others involved in the abduction and murder of Camille McKinney. You are entitled to your opinion. Please follow my other videos on this case of Camille McKinney's disappearance and murder. Go in the YouTube queue and you will see all of my said videos pertaining to this very baffling and bizarre ghetto ratchet case of a child missing out of Birmingham, Alabama. It was a very ratchet case. It was a lot of hype and rhetoric that ran on YouTube, such as like Summer Wells and Cal City. And the one thing I said during this live, the reason that this case of Camille McKinney was so ratchet is because it's like the other two cases. You have street people involved. That is why they're all similar and evenly yoked. Cal City, Camille McKinney, and Summer Wells are all evenly yoked in ratchetness because of the people who brought them here. This is why I always tell you all to stay woke. All the cases are similar with the he said and the she said, and he did this, they did that, they on a live, they over here. It's all because of the parents' behavior beforehand and after the children went missing. Because you see, if the people were decent human beings and behaved in decent fashion, the children would still be alive today. And I honestly believe that. Each case is the same. The bio parents cared for the West boys, we wouldn't have a story. If the bio parents of Summer Wells were decent, she'd still be here where we could hear her sing, laugh, run around. And the same with Camille McKinney. If she had decent parents who cared for her on that fateful night in 2019, she would still be alive. That is the common denominator in all these ratchet stories of missing and murdered children. It is their bio donors. And with Camille's case, it was double threat. Bio donors versus abductors. But had these children had decent, loving parents who cared about their welfare, their livelihood, we would not have a story of them now being deceased. They would be somewhere happily playing with their siblings and other children. And that's something people need to realize with these stories when they become rambunctious in nature, the content of the story, the hype, the rhetoric, the gossip. It is because of the parents. Thank the parents. Because you see, a decent human being will not be out on social media gossiping and falling down drunk and high and geeked up and accusing everybody and their mama of being involved. All the stories are similar. Keep telling you all, stay woke. It's their bio parents. It's their bio parents that are the problem. The reason we are here discussing the cases. The reason they're on the news. The reason people want to do documentaries. The reason they're writing articles. The reason people want to interview them. It's the bio parents. You take away the bio parents, you wouldn't even have a story. So my message today is to think carefully before lying down and having sex with random strangers and getting knocked up and producing a child. Know who you're sleeping with. Use birth control. Get help if you think you need it for any type of mental disability, ill thoughts, ill will. Go get help. There is nothing wrong with seeking help. You have the right to preserve your own life, livelihood, and possibly the livelihood of others if you think that you will go out here and harm another human being. Save yourself so you can save others. And as Dr. Phil would say, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for the donations. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Thank you, Candace. If you want to donate to this channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. This was a very interesting live, and I thank Candace for letting me get this information out to the public. When I get more information pertaining to the trial of Patrick Stallworth and Dericka Brown for the murder of Camille McKinney, I will bring you the said update, and I will go here in a minute and post this federal situation to my community post for those who need an update and verification that the state of Alabama, the federal federal prosecutors are not seeking the death penalty against Patrick and Dericka, but the state is going to continue to seek the death penalty. And also know that in the state of Alabama, the judge can override the verdict of the sentencing, from the jury. Please take note that even if the jury says no to the death penalty to Patrick, Dericka, or any civilian, the judge can override and render the death penalty. Thank you for joining me. Have a safe weekend. This is Everyday Shenanigans. God bless all of you. Mind the children. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the what? Solution, not the problem.